public hearing. Today is Wednesday, November 4th. December 4th, how about that? December 4th. If we all could please rise as Legislator Myers leads us in the pledge to the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, give us the strength, courage, and wisdom to always act in the best interest of the people of Westchester while we're in this chamber. Let us keep in mind that every decision that we make impacts upon the life, health, and safety of all our great county residents. Amen. Madam Clerk.
Majority Leader Harcum.
Here.
Minority Leader Mazzano. Here. Ms. Borgia.
Here.
Mr. Burrows. Here. Mr. Gelfarb. Here. Mr. Kaplowitz.
Present.
Ms. Marcotte. Ms. Myers.
Here.
Ms. Perez. Mr. Ryan. Ms. Shimsky.
Here.
Mr. Smith. Ms. Spreckman. Mr. Testa.
Here.
Ms. Williams.
Here.
Mr. Williams. Mr. Chairman.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's read the rules for tonight's public hearing.
Tonight's public hearing is from the Committee on Budget and Appropriations on the proposed 2014 Westchester County budget. Notices of tonight's hearing was published in the Journal News. I have proof of publication, which is available for inspection in my office. Each speaker shall be limited to 3 minutes. As your name is called, we'll ask that you please go down the aisle to my left and wait behind the black ropes.
At this time, we're going to have the public hearing conducted by the budget chair, who's been doing a tremendous job working through this budget process. Judy Myers will now take the chair to run this meeting. Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. I am Judy Myers, Chair of Budget and Appropriations, and this is our third and final public hearing on the proposed 2014 budget. I will read 6 names, and please ask that people come down to my left and stand there, and we'll go in groups of 6s. So could we please have Robin Douglas, Barbara Sachs, Joanne Mongelli, Stanton Selbst, Hamra Ahmad, and Karen Sheeks-Lomax. Ms. Douglas, please.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of Board of Legislators. I am not going to keep you long. I am Robin Douglas, President and CEO and founder of the African American Chamber of Commerce of Westchester and Rockland counties. The Chamber was established June 28, 1996, as an independent, not-for-profit agency to aid, counsel, and protect the interests of African American businesses. Our mission is to preserve competitive enterprise and to maintain and strengthen the overall economy of Westchester and Rockland counties. In the 17 years of servicing the MWBE community, we have successfully facilitated more than 30 firms through the process of acquiring their DBE and their MWBE certifications. Through our PREP program, we have facilitated some 60 firms in learning the process and procedure of acquiring contracts with government and corporations. These firms over the years have acquired more than $5 million in new contracts. Our chamber holds seats on the board of directors of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce in Washington, D.C., at Governor Cuomo's Mid-Hudson Region Council. As a member of the council, we facilitated the Greater Centennial AME Zion Church in Mount Vernon acquire a $5 million tax credit in 2001, which they are currently using to create jobs for the residents of Mount Vernon. Last year, my colleagues and I on the council successfully brought $98 million to the Hudson Valley, towns by which many of you live. I am proud to say, if you read the council's report for 2011 and 12, our chamber was the highlighted organization in the MWBE category of the report given to the governor's office for review. The chamber has kept the MWBE community informed and has worked to prepare local firms for the arduous competition they will encounter as they compete for contracts on the Tappan Zee Bridge project and contracts that will develop as a result of gambling coming to New York State. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I?
You know, at this point, I should say, we won't have applause only because it takes up a lot of time, and we want to make sure everybody who wants to be heard can be heard. And so why don't we just progress through. Barbara Sachs, please.
Good evening, honorable legislators. Thank you for the opportunity to come here and speak to you tonight. My name is Barbara Sachs, and I'm the Executive Director of Cornell Cooperative Extension of Westchester County. We are very grateful for your past support as we begin our 99th consecutive year of service to Westchester residents and businesses. We once again ask for your continued support and an appropriation of $800,000 in the 2014 county budget. That's the figure that the county executive put in the proposed budget. Since I was here last, we've relocated our headquarters in order to bring down our operating costs, but we have not cut any services in the past 2 years. Instead, we've become much more lean and efficient, and we've been able to maintain our service commitment to the people and the businesses of Westchester County. We've been using the county dollars to leverage state, federal, and Cornell University resources. An investment of $1 county dollar yields approximately $4 worth of services into our county. Very few investments have that high rate of return. Cornell Cooperative Extension is a cooperative partnership between the county and the university, the USDA, and the state. Our priority programs continue to be consumer and commercial horticulture, including economic development, which gives direct service to approximately 2,500 resident households per year and keeps the billion-dollar green industry viable and competitive so that it can continue to employ 10,000 people in Westchester County. Another priority is our Master Gardener Volunteer Program, which donates over $400,000 worth of services to Westchester each year. Our 4-H clubs and incubation and embryology program reach 10,000 Westchester youngsters every year. Nutrition and healthy lifestyle education reaches over 400 low-income families, representing approximately 1,200 family members. The result is to help bring down the Medicare costs incurred by the county, and to help SNAP recipients stretch their food stamp dollars so that they don't need emergency assistance from the county to make ends meet by the end of the month. Never is 1 penny of county appropriation dollars used for any fringe benefits like health insurance or pensions for us, because the state and Cornell University take care of that. Our employees also contribute very substantially to health insurance. Please continue to support our progress by approving the appropriation of $800,000 for 2014. Thank you for this opportunity tonight.
Thank you. Joanne Mongelli. And entourage.
Hi, I am Joanne Mongelli, Deputy Director of Arts Westchester, and I simply want to thank you for the bipartisan support for the Challenge for the Arts. We appreciate deeply that you added it to the proposed budget and hope we can count on you to keep it in as the budget winds its way to the final vote. I brought a few colleagues. We'll stay within 3 minutes so that they could really tell you the impact throughout the county of the Challenge.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Hayden. I'm the CEO for Caramore Center for Music and the Arts in Katona. I just want to say the Challenge Grant for the Arts has leveraged about $1.4 million worth of private support to help bolster these programs in the Westchester County over the last 6 years. And as you know, this industry ends up employing 5 million local jobs with an impact of over $150 million a year.
I am Ann Bernstein for the White Plains Performing Arts Center. Small contributions really matter. Contributions of $25, $50, $100. The challenge enabled us to broaden and diversify our donor base, and we found once people become supporters, they remain supporters. Thank you.
Helen Gates, Executive Director of the Rye Arts Center. The Challenge for the Arts grant money has enabled us to sustain the work that we do with Portchester's Head Start program. This program provides 175 preschoolers with critically important arts education programming throughout the year. This is the first time that they've had arts experience, and it's critically important to their developing minds that it remain. I invite you to join us in May, especially you, David Gelfarb, to join us at the children's graduation. You will see firsthand how important this program is, not only to the children, but to their families and to the community overall. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lee Taylor Mickelson from Clay Arts Center in Portchester. The challenge enabled us to put clay into the hands of more children. The funds we raised were crucial to our ability to provide services to Portchester's Latino communities and to people with disabilities. It made such a difference. I hope you'll keep it in the budget.
Thank you. Stanton Selpst.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stan Selpst, and I'm a board member of Family Service Society of Yonkers. Until very recently, when we merged with FSSY, I was the president of JCY Westchester Community Partners, which, as you know, provides literacy skills, among other things, in the county. With me is Janice Lubin-Kirshner, our executive director. Janice is a lifelong resident of Westchester County. I am new, I'm only here 50 years. We thank you for your support. You have been great supporters, and we appreciate it and never take it for granted for even one moment. I don't usually read comments, but I've prepared a couple and I don't want to make mistakes. A disclaimer, we have no control over the press, either as individuals or an organization. Nonetheless, 4 articles appeared in the press this week that make our case. Number 1, the headline in the December 2nd issue of the Westchester Business Journal, page 4, says, "Step up and help our students before it is too late." The article goes on to say, public education has been something that we have all taken for granted, like the Hoover Dam or the Washington Monument. If the tragic education gap between white and Hispanic children persists, the difficulty in finding qualified employees will increase even more. More than half of the children we serve are Hispanic. The December 3rd New York Times said on page 12, 15-year-olds in the United States score in the middle of the developed world in reading and science and lag even more in math. While the performance of American students stayed the same in 2009, other countries like Ireland and Poland moved ahead. The Journal News had 2 articles this week. December 3rd states the wealthiest 10% of New York schools spent 80% more per student last year compared to 10% for the poorest districts. We know where the districts we serve are: Yonkers, Mount Vernon, Elmsford. We know where they fit in. A headline in today's Journal News says, U.S. stalls in science and education. One cannot be a scientist if one cannot read. The news is not all bad. I'm happy to tell you, and I suspect you may know, that this year Westchester County has been given the honor from Generations United and MetLife as being the best intergenerational community in the country. My time is up, but we need your help, and we thank you for your support.
Thank you. Hamra Ahmad.
Good evening, Madam Chair, legislators. My name is Hamra Ahmed. I am the director for the Center for Legal Services at My Sister's Place. Thank you for restoring $75,000 for our tot drop, case management, and human trafficking services. Every year, the Center for Legal Services serves more than 1,000 victims of domestic violence and human trafficking through the provision of advice and counsel and direct representation in the areas of family law and immigration. Currently, we represent 20 victims of human trafficking, both sex and labor trafficking, that arose here in Westchester County. As head of the Center for Legal Services, I have seen an increase in both the number and complexity of the cases that we serve, of the clients that we serve, and the demonstration of the need for more services. As you may know, My Sister's Place is co-founder of Westchester County's Anti-Trafficking Task Force that brings together over 30 organizations, including local, state, and federal law enforcement, along with social services agencies here in Westchester County, to proactively investigate and address human trafficking right here in our county. Thank you for the additional dollars for our family law and immigration services. For the past several years, you have believed in us and supported us in our response to human trafficking. We are grateful that you recognize and value the need for civil legal services for this vulnerable population. Thank you.
Thank you. Karen Cheeks-Lomax. And while Karen is coming up to the podium, could I ask that the speakers with children begin to come in down to my left? Shantae Brooks and Phyllis Carlos, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, legislators. My name is Karen Cheeks-Lomax, and I'm the CEO of My Sister's Place. And I am a member of the Westchester Women's Agenda and also a resident of Mount Vernon. You know, when I think about budget time, I know it's very challenging. As I have talked to so many of you, I recognize that it's a moment in time where you have to make very, very hard decisions. And as Hamra has talked to you already, we so appreciate the time that you have taken to think about the communities that we serve, that are your communities, that need the support, that need the help, that need to be able to extract, to really pull themselves out of intimate partner abuse and human trafficking. You know, one of the things that I think is so unique about My Sister's Place is that we have a holistic approach to our work. So not only do we have a legal services program, the Center for Legal Services, but we also have a programming department, and you're going to hear a little bit later from Lauren Shala, who's going to come up behind me. And what we do is we work with children and we work with teens. We're in 55 high schools throughout Westchester County. And we're trying to change the next generation's thinking about intimate partner violence. We want to change how your children, how your grandchildren begin to think about this issue. So while I recognize that there are so many things that pull at all of you, I just want to tell you how much we appreciate what you do for My Sister's Place. And in fact, we're able to leverage the dollars that you give us outside of this community, which I think is really important through our federal and state and some of our other local grants. So again, thank you so much for your time, and I just appreciate all that you have done year after year for My Sister's Place. Thank you again.
Thank you, Karen. And could we now have Shantae Brooks and Phyllis Carlos? And entourage. Smaller entourage.
Stay right there, stay right there. Hi, good evening. My name is Shantae Brooks. I'm here for representation for Mount Vernon Daycare. I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I am a single parent of 2 children, one that's been in daycare since the age of 6 months and one that's in elementary school and does the after-school program. I'm an educator myself. I work every day. I'm a full-time student for a master's degree in administration. I do a lot, but the daycare helps me out tremendously. It's been times when I go to Miss Linda, who's a part of Mount Vernon Daycare, and she understands my worth and what I'm trying to work for. Title 20 is very important to keep and to try to open up for everyone, because for people like me, this is the only thing that helps me out. I don't qualify for welfare. I don't sit on my behind every day and not go to work. I go to school full-time, I go to work full-time, I take care of my children full-time, and I have the help and support of daycare and family and friends that help me out. I continue to need work. I continue to need money. I understand I'm an advocate for education. I'm in the education field myself. Without childcare, without daycare, without my child learning, they're going to fall far behind the spectrum of learning and being able to catch up to what we're in a race to the top race that we need. These kids need to be educated, and if parents can't send their kids to daycare, then we're losing out on several battles. Thank you.
Thank you. Phyllis Carlos.
My name is Phyllis Carlos. My granddaughter was denied Title 20, and right now she's in daycare, and it takes 3 people to pay for daycare every week. They need to learn. There's no better place than Mount Vernon Daycare, and we need Title 20 to stay in place. And I work at the school, and I see the difference in children that don't go to daycare and those that do go to daycare. We need to keep Title 20. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll take a minute to allow everyone to file out. I think a lot of these kids probably need to get to bed. And in the meantime, if we could please bring down Lauren Scheller, Kathleen Gleason Bonardo, David Lampert, Cora Greenberg, and Howard Milbert. Thank you. Lauren, why don't you come up to the podium, please?
Good evening. My name is Lauren Schaller, and I am the Director of Counseling Programs at My Sister's Place, a non-for-profit agency that serves all victims of domestic violence and human trafficking. I'm here tonight to first thank the Board of Legislators for your ongoing care and support of the work of My Sister's Place over the years. In particular, I am here to thank you for restoring funding to our case management contract and tot drop childcare contract. The case management contract supports the administrative, managerial, and supervisory support that directors like myself provide to the counselors and advocates at My Sister's Place. Unlike other types of work environments, our staff members are vulnerable to the effects of burnout and the distressing impact of hearing clients' traumatic stories day after day. In order to ensure that staff members are supported and delivering quality services to clients, there must be strong leaders to encourage staff to take care of themselves. In regards to our Top Drop childcare program, thank you for giving us the ability to have a skilled child care specialist available at our Yonkers office site 5 days a week. It gives our clients the opportunity to engage in their legal appointments, counseling sessions, and life skills workshops with the comfort of knowing that their children are being cared for in a safe, enriching, and therapeutic environment. Without available childcare, many of our clients would not be able to access our services. So far this year, over 600 children impacted by domestic violence have benefited from the Tot Drop program thanks to your support. And finally, I would like to extend my great appreciation for your recognition of the value of My Sister's Place being able to provide counseling support to children impacted by domestic violence by increasing funding that will allow us to hire an additional master's level children's counselor. Thank you for continuing to believe in the work of My Sister's Place. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathleen Gleason Boniardo? What is it? Boncardo.
Good evening, Board of Legislators. My name is Caitlin Gleason Boncardo. I'm president of the Board of Directors for Community Service Associates, Inc. in Mount Vernon, New York. We are a 501c3 organization that runs the local soup kitchen in Mount Vernon and its surrounds. We've been in operation for 28 years, and first and foremost, I'd like to thank the Board of Legislators for this past year's funding of $20,000 that helped us get us through 2013. We had a very rough year this year. Aside from the government shutting down and funding being cut, where we are housed at Sacred Heart Church in Mount Vernon, they are requiring us to pay rent this year. That's very, very tough on us. I mean, everything that we do based on funding that we get privately and funding that we get federally. We cannot this year afford to lose the support of the Board of Legislators or the County of Westchester. We're in desperate need of funding. We hope that you guys will continue to support us. We have asked for $20,000 for our Heavenly Start program, which provides 50 breakfasts, 52 weeks a year, and it also leads us into our brown bag lunch program. Every person that comes in for the Heavenly Start program receives a brown bag lunch of a balanced meal to get them through the day. Our program supplies this food for our residents, not only of Mount Vernon. There are people that come in to Community Service Associates from Peekskill, White Plains, Yonkers, everywhere that all you legislators represent. And I just hope, I pray that you guys could please continue to support us financially, because without that program, the Heavenly Start program, it'll be a ripple effect on the lunch program and also a ripple effect on the community that surrounds Sacred Heart. So I ask you to please support us, and again, I want to thank you very much for your support in the past.
Thank you. David Lampert.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you this evening. My name is Dave Lampert. I'm here also representing the Community Service Associates, the Mount Vernon Soup Kitchen. I'm a volunteer there. I'm also on the board of trustees of a local synagogue in Scarsdale, and we've been a long time, and I'm head of the Social Action Committee there, and we've been a long time supporter of the CSA with providing them with the most basic of needs, and that's food. So we have cooking days every month or two where volunteers at our synagogue get together. We provide the money, we cook the food, and we bring it down to the CSA, and we help to serve the food. The need there is great. You know, there's continued high unemployment in the Mount Vernon and surrounding areas. government cuts that we all know about, and so the need is increasing. At the same time, the funding for the organization has been decreasing from a number of different sources. And as we just heard from Caitlin, while the organization had been operating rent-free for the last 28 years, now due to the increasing utility costs and other associated costs, they're going to have to start paying rent. So this is an incredibly tough year for them, and it's critical that they get the small, modest amount of funding to keep the Heavenly Start program going. You know, this is the most basic need is food, and this organization does a great job leveraging a ton of volunteers, a ton of private donations to supply that basic human need to some of the most vulnerable of the populations of Westchester. Thank you for your continued support.
Thank you. Cora Greenberg.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cora Greenberg, the Executive Director of the Westchester Children's Association. As most of you know, our organization does not receive nor do we seek government funding. That's not our job. Our job is to find out what children need, to make those needs known to the public and to elected officials like yourselves, and to try to see that those needs are met. And so we sit back a little bit and we try to take a look at what are the most pressing needs of children in our county. And this year, we are really thrilled that at this point, at least, there is some money in the budget to expand and reopen Title 20 child care subsidies. That is a crucial need, as you've heard, and you'll probably hear more, for youngsters and their families in this county who are working hard trying to make it, and they're at just that tipping point where we know everything in Westchester is so expensive. When Commissioner McGuire spoke to the Budget Committee, he talked, Phil Gilles rather, his first deputy commissioner, talked at length about how expensive housing is. And everything else in Westchester is also expensive. So these families really need your help. We know that there are some, it's hard to find the money for this, but we really hope that you will find the money to keep this $2.5 million in the budget for the expansion and the reopening of Title 20 subsidies. It's really crucial for the families. I think there are more than 700 children waiting for a spot, and those are just the people who decided to apply even though they knew it wasn't open. So there's lots of people who need this. A second thing I just want to mention is Invest in Kids, which has been sort of holding steady. There's no increase slated for this year, but I certainly hope there won't be a decrease. This is an important program that funds a lot of the after-school programs in the county and really allows communities to develop programs for their young people. And finally, I want to say something about youth employment. As we go forward in a lot of areas, but particularly I'm thinking about Playland, which I know there's going to be some new way of Playland will exist. I'm really hoping that somewhere in that configuration is a way to maintain and preserve the summer youth jobs that are there. That's a major employer for young people in our county in the summer. And your first job, as you know, you remember your first job was a really important part of how you grew up. And so we want that for our young people. We want to give them a chance to have those positive experiences. And that's an important thing to think about as you're finalizing whatever Playland is going to wind up to be. My last plug is for the Youth Shelter Program, which is in the budget right now for a very modest expansion amount. It is an incredible program that really helps young people turn their lives around. It gives kids a chance when they've made a mistake to take another step and go off in the right direction, and I'm sure you'll be hearing from some of them later today. So thanks for all your hard work. It is really hard work. We wouldn't have a government if you didn't step up to take these roles and work as hard as you do, and so I really thank you for all of that.
Thank you. Howard Milbert. While Howard's coming up, could we please have Joan Blackburn, Carol Griffiths, Tasha Robertson, Daniel Amikuchi, and Josephine P. Guillermo.
My name is Howard Milbert, and I'm the Executive Director of the Ossining Children's Center and the co-president of the Westchester Early Childhood Directors Association. On behalf of the children and families that have joined me here today, as well as the much wider group that we represent, I'd like to thank you for standing up for what is right rather than bowing to the current political pressure to cut services. By doing so, you will enable parents to continue to work while allowing their children to receive quality care. Your decision to reinstate the Title 20 funds is nothing short of heroic. We know this was not an easy step to take, but its benefits will reverberate for years to come. Thank you very much. And I'd like everyone to hold up their signs again.
Okay, thank you.
And now we can all leave. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Night-night. Joan Blackburn, please.
Good evening. My name is Joan Blackburn, and I'm an elder law attorney at the Pace Women's Justice Center. The center is a proud member of the Westchester Women's Agenda, and we also support $2.5 million in funding to open up new Title 20 childcare slots for low-income working parents and families. Since 2005, with your past support, we have provided free direct legal services to over 1,000 seniors who have been victims of elder abuse and conducted hundreds of educational programs for seniors throughout Westchester County. I'm here tonight mainly to thank you for all your past support, and we just hope that we can continue to count on you in 2014 for continuing support. Thank you.
Thank you. Carol Griffiths.
I would first like to thank the Board of Legislators who acted Monday to add back to the proposed county budget 2 important staff positions, that of Environmental Project Director and Director of the Water Agency. I thought that was a great thing that you did. So I'm here tonight on behalf of Federated Conservationists of Westchester, which since 1965 have brought together citizens in Westchester, numerous community organizations, and diverse professionals to preserve and rehabilitate the natural resources of Westchester County. We've become a trusted resource for the community, and our opinions and research have become a touchstone. Based on our careful monitoring of the county environmental programs and performance, we believe the elimination of those positions would have been a grave mistake. Such action will seriously weaken the county's ability to meet its environmental responsibilities, would undermine important programs to protect drinking water and water quality, and would reduce the county's ability to operate the Westchester County Airport in an environmentally responsible manner. The Environmental Project Director has successfully acted as project manager of 2 major county wastewater projects, the Wastewater Collection and Treatment System Rehabilitation Program and the Long Island Sound Wastewater Treatment Plant Improvement Program, which play key roles in controlling wastewater effluent. The Environmental Project Director has also been critical to the improved environmental performance at the Westchester County Airport, having supervised the design and implementation of the innovative and award-winning airport environmental management system, which has saved money and reduced the airport's impact on the environment. The director of the County Water Agency oversees the planning, operations, and capital projects for 2 water districts in the county. These projects require working with many different agencies on the legal, environmental, land use, and technical issues associated with each project. In addition, the director serves as a liaison to municipalities and other water suppliers on matters related to public water supply, water conservation, drought, and emergency planning. Given the county's reliance on the New York City water supply as its source water and the potential for disruptions, the importance of a good working knowledge as well as solid relationships with the agencies involved is critical to ensuring ongoing adequate water supplies throughout the country. These 2 important positions and the 2 individuals who have long and very successfully held them are critical to the county government's ongoing ability to maintain and improve its environmental performance. We hope that they will be restored in the final 2014 operating budget. Thank you for your attention to this.
Thank you. Tasha Robeson.
Hello, everybody. Good evening.
My name is Tasha Robertson. I'm speaking tonight to support the Cluster Community Service in Yonkers. My two sons attend Study Buddy program, which takes place weekly. They both enjoy going there. They teach them how to be independent and about college, which my oldest son just got accepted today into NYIT. They also volunteer the after-school program to help the younger kids. I would like for you to please keep the funding for Cluster and Study Buddy. And after school, it helps keep the kids off the street, and parents know that their kids are in a safe environment. So please keep the funding going. Our kids are our future. Thanks. Have a good night.
Thank you. Daniel Amakuchi.
Hello, I represent CSA, Community Services Association, Soup Kitchen in Mount Vernon. Simply put, 24 years old. I'm a resident of Yonkers, New York. Well, I'll keep it short and sweet because Kate wouldn't give you the in and out of our doings and our current problems. Currently, for the past 3 years, I've operated buildings in Yonkers, Mount Vernon, and New Rochelle. And over those 3 years, I've had the pleasure to meet some pretty awesome people, and as such, began volunteering with CSA and became a member of the board very recently. But what first started as personal fulfillment soon became to realize there was something much bigger than myself, and I was contributing to something a lot bigger than something much bigger than myself and to anyone else. Well, simply put, CSA, they donate 72,000 meals per year. A lot of these meals are some of these people's only meal per day. We need to make sure we keep this moving and keep this in process. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Josephine P. Giaima. And while Josephine is coming up, could we have Edward Cyprian, Olivia Ianotti, Xavier Alicia, Jacob Fury, and Jan Fisher.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to support Cluster. I'm a mother of 3. My big son was at after school study buddy. He has now finished Alfred College with forensic science and biological sciences. The second one is at St. Rose College, and the third one is yet to go. So please keep the funding. It's good for me, and I have become a nurse, LPN, working at St. Barnabas, all through after-school program. Thank you.
Thank you. Edward Cyprian.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here. Chair, Legislator, thank you very much for being here. Also, to hear us out. For your support is very important to us and is very much valued. I'm also here with Cluster Community Services. This is one of the parents that we service. All the services that we provide to the children, families, and the youth of our communities is made possible to the much valued support and funds provided to all the agencies here represented. And to the Invest in Kids grant that we receive, it has made it possible for us to provide after-school program. As you heard, is the Study Buddies program, which is a youth development, leadership, and empowerment program, kind of a bunch. But it's geared to equip these youth with different life skills that they can use then once they go off to college and in their lives generally. So this is only made possible through the Invest in Kids grant that we do receive. Also, these youth, whatever they learn at our program, they then take that and they take it down to the children at our after-school program and kind of teach them as they are mentors to the children. So we just want to say that we value your support and we really do need it because, as one of the parents mentioned, these children are our future, and truthfully, they are. So your support is only going to build a path, is going to open up a path for them. We can only lay the foundation, but we want to help them become the engineers to edify themselves so that they can lead a better future, have a better future for themselves, and also make a foundation for others who can then lead a better future also as well. So thank you very much, and please do consider these continued fundings. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Olivia Iannotti.
Good evening. My name is Olivia Iannotti. I am 17 years old, and I am a part of the Westchester County Youth Council. Before I begin, I just want to thank all of you for taking the time to listen. And I've been a part of the Youth Council since the 7th grade. I am currently a senior in high school. And I just have to say about how much it truly impacted my life. Before then, sure, I knew about some issues that were impacting my community, but I didn't really care much. I had other things on my mind. I was, 12? But now since I joined, I've realized how much these issues do impact me and impact my community and my peers, and just how much we really can do as youth to change it, because we are the next generation, we are the future, we are the voice of the people that it's impacting. And it especially impacted me because in the 8th grade I was cyberbullied, and it was very, very hard on me. I wasn't even safe in my own home. I couldn't go on the internet. I couldn't do anything without worrying, who is this? It could have been anyone. It could have been my friend, could have been my closest friends. But when I went to youth council, it was a safe haven because I knew that I could trust them and I could open up to them. And they helped me turn one of the worst situations of my life into one of the best, because we started the Youth Action Convention and I got to lead the anti-bullying presentation. I've managed to turn what was a horrible situation into a way to help other people who are going through what I've been through. So I know firsthand just how hard it is to be bullied, and I know that not everybody understands how truly impacting it really is. So it's really been an amazing experience for me to use what I've gone through to help others, which is what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to be able to help other people, because if I'm not going to, who is? Which is why I believe that the Youth Council deserves every amount of funding it could possibly get, because we're doing exactly that. We're helping other people. Thank you.
Thank you. Xavier Alicia.
Good evening, our honorable legislators. My name is Xavier Alicia. I'm 17 years old and an 11th grader currently attending Thornton High School in Mount Vernon, New York. I'm here tonight to speak about something extremely important to me, which is funding for youth advocacy programs, in particular Westchester County Youth Councils. This program is important to me because having a strong background in leadership will better help me prepare to be a positive figure in my society, instead of becoming a statistic. Coming from a year-long member of Westchester County Youth Councils, it has truly opened my eyes to the problems in my world, helping me engage and step into leaderships just as this, and to reach a knowledge of how to solve pressing issues with a positive perspective, with a demanding hunger, without knowledge or ignorance. Given that our county provides opportunities such as these, wouldn't you want to continue funding to better prepare for our future? Please continue funding for Invest in Kids grant, and with an increase to produce more leaders like me. Thank you so much for your time and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alyssa Chaube. I'm 16 years old and I go to White Plains High School. I'm currently a youth leader at Westchester County Youth Councils. This program has been part of my life for 2 years and it has changed my life in so many ways. I have learned that being a teen in this world is very important. I have gained a different perspective in the world and other people around me. I would recommend this program to many of my fellow peers. We would appreciate if you keep on funding Invest in Kids and a 10% increase so that the future leaders of tomorrow will have a great opportunity while growing up. Once again, we would appreciate if you fund Invest in Kids. Thank you very much and have a good night.
Thank you. Jacob Fury.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jacob Furry, and I'm a young youth advocate for the Westchester County Youth Council program. I live in White Plains, and I am 12 years old and a 7th grader at White Plains Middle School. I am here tonight to speak about something that is very important to me, Westchester County Youth Leadership Programs. These programs are important to me because Youth Council helps me shape who I am and is allowing me to make a difference in my community. I just participated in a Malcolm X evening workshop series where I learned about Malcolm and his beliefs. Just like Malcolm, I believe I can make a difference, and the Youth Leadership Program provides me with this opportunity. I have also participated in many other activities which have all positively impacted me. I now have a better understanding of my community and can appreciate the difference of others and realize that I'm a part of something that is much bigger than me. My voice is now stronger and more confident because I have joined a positive youth movement that is shaping the community around me. I hope Westchester County will continue to support Invest in Kids or increase their funding by 10% so more children can be given a positive experience. If we don't make these type of investments now, we will pay in the future. Support Westchester Youth. Thank you very much for listening to me, and have a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Nina Jung. I'm a senior at Ardsley High School, and I'm a 2.5 years member of the Westchester County Senior Youth Council. Leadership, initiative, volunteerism, community, public speaking. These are values and skills that I use daily, but could not have learned without Youth Council. Through this program, I've been encouraged to take a leadership role in ameliorating Westchester County's present and future. The Westchester County Youth Council is part of the Family Services of Westchester. Middle and high school students learn how to take an active role in their community through advocacy, activism, and community service. The WCYC is a comprehensive representation of Westchester County. The 18 Westchester communities and 41 different schools represented in WCYC offers a wide variety of perspectives to our community of leaders. We tackle a large range of issues from bullying to racism to environmentalism to the 84 advocacy, community service, and leadership activities the Senior Council participated in this year, and the 46 activities that the Junior Council participated in this year. Through the Youth Council, I've been able to learn about the many problems teens face. Nearly every meeting, I have the opportunity to either learn from a representative of a program like Children's Village, or from hands-on experience through services like Greenberg Nature Center. We learn about how to lead a healthier lifestyle and make Westchester a safer community. The facilities in Westchester act as our classroom, and the Westchester residents act as our mentors, allowing many programs to benefit through our acquisition of knowledge. However, the greatest thing about Youth Council is that not only do they educate me about how to improve Westchester, but they also encourage me to educate others through action. Every year, the Senior Council presents workshops to fellow youth leaders in Westchester. We are the ones creating and leading the workshops on issues that matter to us. Through this experience, we gain a motivation to teach others, an open mind to new perspectives, and the initiative to be youth leaders and youth advocates. There's no doubt that without my experiences at Youth Council, I could not be standing here today. I'm sure many of our youth advocates sitting here today are still surprised by how effortless it feels to speak up and to take an active role in our community. Youth Council introduced us to a multitude of community service opportunities throughout the region and organized countless opportunities for us to champion youth values. I surprise myself every time I stand in front of an audience like this and speak about something so meaningful to me, because honestly, 2 years ago, I would have rather been sitting in the audience. The reason I'm standing here is to inspire more youth to surprise themselves like I have. And I think the Youth Council's collective efforts are working. From 2012 to 2013, membership has grown 5 times its original number in the Junior Council and doubled in the Senior Council. I just want to finish by saying, I ask the legislators to not stop at our pinnacle of success. Keep this strong and growing group of youth well-funded. It is one of the safest investments you can make in our present and future. Thank you.
Thank you. Jan Fisher, and while Jan is coming up, could we have Kathy Hallis, Dennis Hanratty, Janice Phillips, Vivian Spady, and David Locklear.
Hi, I'm Jan Fisher, and I'm the Director of Public Affairs for WJCS, and a little humbled and intimidated by the youth that preceded me. I graduated high school 33 years ago and would never have had the strength and the ability to do what the preceding speakers did, so my hat's off to them. On behalf of the Board of Directors of Westchester Jewish Community Services, I express our sincere thanks to the Board of Legislators for providing the community with an opportunity to offer perspective on the 2014 county budget. WJCS is a not-for-profit human services agency with a 33-member Board of Directors from throughout Westchester County. The agency employs 750 people and works with more than 20,000 Westchester County children, families, seniors, and individuals of all abilities annually. We are proud of our 70-year history and the work of the agency, and we are really appreciative of the partnership we have with Westchester County and the Board of Legislators in providing programs, resources, and opportunities for Westchester residents to succeed in their home, schools, community, and the workplace. And we do this through Invest in Kids and other important funding streams. My public comments tonight, interestingly enough, will not focus on the work of WJCS primarily. We are here to advocate for a service that we don't provide, but is very important to the constituents and the people in the communities in which we work, and that is child care. We are a provider of Early Step Forward, and we thank you, so many of you, for championing this initiative and for recognizing the critical importance of the early years of a child's life. So as a provider of Early Step Forward, we support our friends and the people who need child care, the families who really benefit and need affordable child care to work, thrive, and provide a positive future for their children. So we support funding that will appropriately invest in working families, young children, and their parents. And we all in this room know that supporting child care will strengthen Westchester and make it a better place to live and work for people of all income levels. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathy Hallis.
Thank you, and good evening. My name is Kathy Hallis. I'm Executive Director of the Child Care Council of Westchester, and I would like to thank the Board of Legislators for adding $2.5 million for new child care subsidy slots for families just over 200% of the federal poverty level. That would mean that a couple with a baby with a gross family income of $40,000 would now be eligible for help, paying for child care that could cost as much as $14,000 a year or more. With this subsidy at the current family share, the parents will pay a little over $5,500, which is about 14% of the gross income. This is still a heavy lift, requiring sacrifice on their part, but it is a sacrifice that parents will make gladly, knowing that they can go to work while the children are safe and learning. The parents that we speak to at the council are desperate to go to work, and they are equally desperate to have safe places for their children. Increasing Title 20 is not just an enormous boost to the immediate well-being of these families, but it's a step in what can be a collective fight to close the achievement gap that many children bring with them when they show up for kindergarten. The investment payoff cycle for early learning, which takes a couple of years, doesn't match up neatly with the budget funding cycle. So it requires looking a few years down the road. But if you need any reassurance that this is a smart investment, just ask any teacher, any principal, any superintendent. If there's a difference in the readiness to learn or the skills of the children who have been in quality childcare and those who have not, they will all say that the difference is stark, it's evident immediately, and that those children who have not benefited from quality early learning have significant and costly service needs. We hope, of course, that the entire $2.5 million for Title 20 stays in, but we ask that you do as much as you can. Any addition to Title 20 will be well used and very appreciated. We understand that revenues from Playland may offset part or all of the Title 20 ad. This makes good sense, as both ventures represent important and interlocking investments in Westchester's future. Nobody who has spoken today envies those of you who have to consider everything you've heard tonight. I want to thank you all for your very thoughtful consideration on behalf of working families and children for childcare this year. Thank you all.
Thank you. Dennis Hanratty.
Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen of the board, thank you for hearing me. I spoke last week at the Yonkers hearing, and I gave you some information about homelessness and some of our efforts. I hope everybody got that. I gave enough. I spoke early. I was number 3, so a lot of you hadn't arrived there yet. I'm hoping everybody got that information. I'd be remiss if I didn't say something about those kids who were here before. That I was really kind of blown away. They were really, really impressive. But housing, the issue I work on, is still the most intractable problem in this county, housing and affordable housing and homelessness. And some of the documents that I gave you guys last week really documents our effectiveness in kind of meeting that thing. 147 evictions prevented, 15 families or individuals rehoused, 18 separate buildings we involved in organizing and administrative campaigns for those buildings. That's in the stuff I handed out. What I'd like to talk about is another service that we provide, and that's furniture, getting free furniture. You guys have probably heard about Furniture Share House. The week before Thanksgiving, we brought our 199th and 200th client up to Furniture Share House. They each get an average of over $2,000 worth of free furniture. When you talk about that, the investment into the community, most of them are from Mount Vernon, but we give a lot for Yonkers, a lot for New Rochelle, and a couple of weeks ago we had somebody from Ossining that we brought there. You're talking about almost $500,000 that we've reinvested in the community just due to our involvement in Furniture Share House. That's a real significant impact on low-income communities. And actually, we've helped get some people out of contracts with Rent-A-Center in Mount Vernon, which is like legalized thievery. Keeping people from sucking our hard-earned money out of the community, getting them out of those agreements. I know there was some concern also. Mount Vernon United Tenants, I've mentioned, is the only funded and staffed tenant association in Mount Vernon. But Mount Vernon United Tenants doesn't only serve Mount Vernon. And we have some people going to follow me, going to talk about, from Yonkers and New Rochelle, some of the efforts we've provided to those communities. We do that on a regular basis. So even though I'm the director of Mount Vernon United Tenants, I don't want people to get the mistaken impression it's only Mount Vernon that we serve. We serve people from throughout the county, mostly in the southern tier, Mount Vernon, Yonkers, and New Rochelle. And there'll be some people who speak about that. They'll attest to the effectiveness of our efforts, and I hope you'll pay them mind, and I hope you'll consider reinstating us in the budget. Thank you very much. I still think Mount Vernon United Tenants, the money that's invested dollar for dollar, is by far the most effective money that the county spends. To be cost effective, we only have to stop 1 to 2 evictions a year. Last year, we stopped 147, rehoused 15. Think about that, the dollar savings to the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Janice Phillips.
Good evening, Madam Chair and board members. My name is Janice Phillips. I live in Yonkers and Crestwood Lake Apartments. I'm also a board member for the association. And it was so nice that Dennis, we reached out to him and he started organizing us. He met in the meetings when the board members had with management and the police department. He also went out of his way to help some of our tenants that were having problems. And he come to our association meetings. It's really good that we found someone like him to help us, the organization. So I would ask you please to keep funding them. My other issue is daycare. I've been a daycare teacher over 20 years. I've worked with infants to school age. My daughter, my grandkids, now my great-granddaughter is in daycare. Daycare is a very early childhood is a very important part for our children to start learning, socialize, and just get along with each other. So I'm asking you, please, do not cut the daycares. They need it, the parents need it, the children need it. Thank you.
Thank you. Vivian Spady.
Hello, good evening. My name is Vivian Spady, and I'm from New Rochelle. We utilize Dennis's services, and I live in the housing projects, and we didn't know who to turn to at one point in time, and we called on him. He's been there for us ever since, he helped stop a lot of people from getting put out. He also helped a lot of people with furniture, not just there, and all the housing authorities there. I advocate for a lot of people, and when I call on him to come, he usually helps us, so we really need the funding for him to continue in New Rochelle. Thank you.
Thank you. David Locklear. And as David's coming up, could we have Tilla Younger, Nick Reserveta, Rodney Drake, Dina Williams, and Joan Indusi. David.
Thank you. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name's David Locklear. I'm a resident of Mount Vernon, and thanks to the assistance of Mount Vernon United Tenants, I have a new apartment. I'll be in this new apartment for Christmas and my birthday. And I owe a great thanks to Dennis Hanratty and the Mount Vernon United Tenants for being in this new place. I've popped around a little bit in rooming houses, and it's not fun. So thank you, Dennis. Dennis mentioned to me that being a Mount Vernon-based organization, that some people might wonder about, well, do we support something that only handles one town? Dennis has done work up in Croton off the Hudson and Rye and a couple other places I've heard him speak of going to. There is lots he's done, not only in Mount Vernon, but around the county. Long story short, we need the organization. We need your support of it. Keep us alive, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Tilla Younger. Yes, please.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Tila Younger. This is my daughter, Jaylene Seaberg. How are you all? Thank you for having me here tonight. And I'm just here to say that I support county funding, especially the Invest in Kids funding. It's very important. I read that 26 states are providing less funding per student to local school districts. And there are so many programs that depend on our local school districts. There's the Step Up program that helps at-risk males ages 12 to 18 years old stay on their educational and employment goals. Then there's the Youth Empowerment Program for employment opportunities during the high school years. The Safe Haven After School Program, that's the program that my daughter depends on. The Safe Haven program that provides a safe place for children 7 years old to 6th grade to do their homework, to socialize, and to not be alone after school. We also have the Safe Haven Summer Program, which is a low-cost camp program for parents that can't afford to pay $1,500 a week or a session or whatever. I can't pay $1,500 or anything, okay? But then they have other programs like the GEMS program, which is the Girls Embracing Maturity, and countless other youth programs that our youth depend on in Westchester. Running schools and improving them cannot take place without proper resources, and it all starts with money. Like I said, I believe in our children of Westchester. I'm proud to tell you that I am off welfare, and I'm working, and I'm paying bills. And it's not easy, but it's worth it to me. It's my basic sense of self-worth. And it's important to my daughter because she likes mommy to get up and go to work, right? And be able to buy things for her, right? Okay, so this is a crucial time in my life. Because I'm working, I'm a paycheck away from welfare, and I don't want to go there. So I fight, and I get up, and I work, and I strive to do better and be a better person. And I really, like countless other parents, need these after-school programs. Like other parents, I need low-cost summer camp. And I beg of you, please, invest in kids is important. Not only to us, but many other families that couldn't be here tonight. But I speak for all of them because I see them on a daily basis when I go to pick up my child. It's not easy. Many of us, one paycheck away from welfare. Thank you.
Thank you. Nick Pasacreta.
Honorable Chair, members of the Board of Legislators. My name is Nicholas Pasacreta, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Cornell Cooperative Extension of Westchester County. CCE is a long-standing partner of Westchester, nearly 100 years. I live in Hawthorne. I'm a lifelong resident of Westchester County. I'm also an avid golfer and use the golf courses throughout the golf season, and so do many of my friends. Golfers don't want to breathe a lot of chemicals while enjoying a round of golf, and we're happy that the county has cut down on the amount of chemicals it puts on the greens and fairways and other areas. We're also happy that the county has reduced the pesticide and herbicide chemicals on its golf courses, because we don't want to inhale that either. Many golf course county golf course employees have said they receive information and training in agronomy only from Cornell Cooperative Extension. Cornell has taught them how to keep the county courses in excellent condition throughout the playing season without the need for so many chemicals. And this has also reduced the costs for maintaining the golf courses. I'm a retired public servant. I vote and pay my taxes, significant property taxes, as many residents do. I want to know that my tax dollars are being well used for programs like Cornell Cooperative Extension that benefit many people, taxpayers and golfers alike in Westchester. Thank you.
Thank you. Rodney Drake.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members. My name is Rodney Drake. I'm here to talk about Dennis Hanratty, Mount Vernon's United Tenants. I'm a resident of Yonkers and a board member of a tennis association. I've gone to Dennis some years ago to ask for his help, to organize us, to help us understand our rights, and to a particular point, for organization and to understand our rights, that there were certain issues, and I'm here to seek your approval and I guess continued service and support. There were certain aspects that it's not enough just to hear that a person has been dislocated in regard to housing, but the impact that doesn't make the highlights, that the psychological, emotional impact that Dennis, in fact, and his organization has allowed those who don't know how to stand up for themselves, who don't understand their rights, who would fall down. God only knows what could happen in the effect that they don't know whether to may take the wrong step, taking the wrong action. With housing, Dennis impressed me basically with his extraordinary knowledge base to help understand the rights that you may have, the rights that you need to stand up for. And to the particular point that he also understands the games that people play. And I'm talking about those in regard to housing that may look to generate income on the backs of those who can least afford it. Okay? So in that respect, that again, being a tenant for roughly about 10 years in regards to Yonkers and the Crestwood area, there is games that people play, nefarious types of behavior, business behavior, that needs to be addressed. Again, there are so many of us who understand, but the obvious sometimes is overlooked or can't be seen, and what things can happen in the stark of day can be missed. Dennis, in effect, has helped me to understand that process and to ask for your continued support in his organization to, again, take a look at, again, the things that don't make the headlines, the emotional impact, the psychological trauma that results in being homeless and so on. Again, there is another factor in which I hope at some point in time to bring to the legislators' attention, the games that are being played on the backs of those who can least afford it, nefarious games, the business practices. Again, we'd like to have Dennis continue the element where God only knows how tenant people would survive, without his help. He goes beyond. And again, I thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Dina Williams. And crew.
Good evening, everyone, Madam Chair, board members, and thank you for this opportunity to address you. We have, thank you for also reinstating or restoring the Invest in Kids funding for the Mount Vernon Youth Bureau. My name, again, is Dina Williams, and I am the Deputy Director for the Mount Vernon Youth Bureau. So we appreciate your continued support, and we ask that you consider us for the 2014 budget. There are so many programs that those funds support, and so many young people and families that are supported by it. You've heard from one of our parents from the Safe Haven program. I have some of the young ladies here from our GEMS program, which is the Girls Embracing Maturity. And I'm going to give them an opportunity to address you and thank you as well.
Hi, my name is Aku Brown. I'm just going to speak briefly on the implementation of the GEM program. There was a time when the Mount Vernon City Police Department patrolled Gramerton Avenue with horses and dogs. The GEM program was created out of that. We did not have funding at that time. I can speak on behalf of once we did acquire funding, the difference that we've made. We've always poured love into the youth because there was an outcry and they needed to be serviced. So I've been with the GEM program for about 6 years as a program coordinator and an assistant coordinator. I would like for you to hear from some of our students who benefited from the program during the time that we were receiving, and we continue to receive funding with hopes and prayer that you will continue to fund the program.
Hello, everyone. My name is Deshaya Harris, and I'm a student at Mount Vernon High School. I'm a little nervous right now, but I was a member of GEM, which is basically Girls Embracing Maturity Summer Leadership Program. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I wasn't thrilled at going to it at first, but I turned out to actually like the program. I learned a lot of things and matured from GEM. We went on many trips, such as FIT in New York City and Valhalla Jail, for a prevention workshop. We exercised, did yoga, we talked about healthy relationships in life. This program helped me a lot because it made me become a better person. I changed my attitude and the way I handle situations. Most of all, I matured. This program will help a lot of females in Mount Vernon. It's important.
Thank you.
Okay.
Please.
Oh. Hi, my name is Nija Hayden. I'm 15. I go to Thornton High School, and I was a participant at GEMS program in 2012, that summer. Basically, the group is just a bunch of girls learning how to embrace maturity. Nervous, I'm sorry. But, making me nervous. It teaches you how to break out of your shell, basically. Like Deshaia said, I was not thrilled going either. But once, like after a few weeks, like a bunch of girls are gonna learn how to, like, what's the word? But it's like learn, like how to grow out of that, like, you know, shyness. And then you have, like, that sisterly bond, your family bond. So it's a great program, and I love it. And I really seriously think you should not take it out of the funding, though. Just my opinion, and everyone else's. But thank you.
Thank you. Joan Inducey. And while Joan is coming up, could we have Christian Philemon, Frank Williams, Frida Macon, Alyssa Chobe, and Lisa Talbot.
Good evening. My name is Joan Inducey, and I'm from Ossining. I'm here to urge you to increase funding to our nature centers, for our naturalists, and our curators at each of our county parks, our conservancies, and our preserves. Having full-time naturalists and curators at our nature centers provides the needed expertise in maintaining the habitat of each unique park. This guarantees the health and vitality of the plant and animal life in the parks. Their vast knowledge of the park that they are assigned to is a resource to all and increases the enjoyment of the park by visitors to the nature centers, and it's a benefit to everyone. Increases in funding for maintenance and upgrades to our nature parks, our conservancies, and our preserves, and important bird areas are necessary measures to ensure the future of our nature parks, which are the jewel of Westchester County. Maintaining and extending our trails and programs at the parks provides access and services for all Westchester residents now and in the future, and I do urge you to increase their funding. Thank you.
Thank you. Christian Philemon.
Good evening, Madam Chairperson, Board of Legislators. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I would first like to thank the board for its support of the Youth Shelter Program of Westchester. Currently, we are the only organization that serves incarcerated youth ages 16 to 21 that are in the adult criminal justice system. This is an incredibly important program. As those of you who accompanied Legislator Williams and others who came to the shelter for the social services meeting saw the boys, the young men, I apologize, and understood the impact of our program. You're going to hear a little bit later on from a couple of residents why the program's important. But I'm here tonight to first thank Legislator Williams and the board for adding $30,000 to support our reentry program. This is an incredibly important program that supports our young residents when they leave the shelter. A couple of statistics that are incredibly important to know that nationally, for this population between 60 to 21, the chances that they are going to reoffend within a year hovers between 67 and 84%. 67 to 84% are going to reoffend within a year. For the last 3 years, our rate has hovered around 30%. And that's because we provide ongoing support that keeps these young men engaged and productive in society. And with this funding, we're going to continue that support to make sure that these young men have access to employment, access to vocational training. Our coordinator goes out and engages employers and community partners. And this really ensures that they have a chance at success. And something else, as I hear my colleagues and advocates speak, all these programs become important for our young fathers. Their families depend on daycare. For the Youth Bureau, our boys are engaged in programs that are supported by Invest in Kids. So I thank and urge you to keep that funding in this year. If we make it this year, I'd be very excited. And a word from Mary Pat Long quickly within my time.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mary Patricia Long, and I'm pleased to be invited here tonight by Mr. Philemon. I'm an attorney with the Legal Aid Society. I've been in the criminal justice field for almost 30 years, first as a prosecutor, now as a legal aid lawyer. I cannot tell you how much the youth shelter impacts our population. The kids who go in there sometimes have no idea about the structure of life. You get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you make your bed, you have breakfast, and you go to school or you go to work. A lot of these kids, a lot of our population never had those role models. And I can talk till I'm green in the face. I can't teach that to these kids because I don't have enough time and it's not really my job. But I see what the youth shelter does every single day. Truly, they come to court with neckties on and suit jackets on. They have good posture, they have good eye contact, they can talk to me. Sometimes when I first meet these kids, they have no idea how to have a professional relationship. I love the youth shelter. I'm a big advocate of it. I hope you can fund it to the best of your ability. And thank you all very much. Good night.
Thank you. Frank Williams.
Madam Chair and members of the Board of Legislators, I'm honored and privileged to be before you this evening. I stand before you in the midst of the more than 2,000 young people I have the privilege of touching every day. And they don't see you as Board of Legislators. They see you as uncles and aunties and cousins and mothers and fathers and grandfathers and people and living, walking beings who have the ability to affect their lives. Many of the young people I serve are products of single-parent homes. And one of the stories I have in my own heart is the story of a group of 35 young boys who live right down the street at Winbrook Housing Development. And these young men told me that, I asked them, how many of you have a dad or a father at home? Hardly any hands indicated that they had a father in their homes. And so they said to me, Mr. Williams, you're all I got. We are depending on you to help us to reach success. And so as I stand in the gap for these young boys, you too stand in that gap. You stand in the gap of making sure that every child in our county have hope and opportunity, have housing and education and support and a job. And it doesn't just begin in high school or middle school. It begins at the earliest stages of their development, at their birth, making sure that these young people have the resources and supports to grow up in the greatest county in our country and the wealthiest county in our country. And you may not be able to see these young people, but they know who you are. They know that there is love in this house, in this community, in this chamber. And what you do for your own children, you do for these kids, because all of these kids belong to all of us. They're our sons and daughters. They're the best chance for this nation, for our nation depends on what you will do in your funding. The city of White Plains was named as one of the 100 best communities for kids in 2011 and 2012. And that distinction also comes from you, from your investment in these kids. White Plains was named one of the 23rd best cities to live in recently. And it's because of your support that we live in a city, in a county, in a state where young people needs are being met. And you've heard this evening about after school and childcare and youth employment and invest in kids and art. It really all goes together. It ties in together. It is not just after school, it's employment. It's also art, music, and dance. And yes, we have the ability to transform our community and to shape our country so that our children will have the best opportunity to reach their full potential. And I thank you for what you have done, and I thank you for what you will do. God bless you.
Thank you. Frida Macon. Macon.
That's quite all right. Chair, am I the last person?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. I was about to say, I'm sure you all are happy to see me if I'm the last person, huh? Good evening to everyone. Thank you so very much for your time. Thank you for your listening ear. My name is Frida Macon, and I am the Deputy Executive Director of Cluster Community Services in Southwest Yonkers. I really would like to just echo and not restate, but just to echo some of the concerns that have been brought forth today. One of the pieces that I really want to share is the concern as far as nonprofit organizations as a whole. So many agencies have been represented here. We need your support in order to continue to do the work that we do in the communities in which we serve. That's really it in a nutshell. Upon behalf of not only Cluster, but all of those agencies that service young people, the agencies that service the eviction prevention programs, the agencies that serve our youth, the parents. We have so many people who are struggling. I know you all hear it, probably tired of hearing it, but that's where we are as a community. And it means so much because it really speaks to the pit of my heart. It means so much if we can go back to our communities and say we didn't forget you. We will not forget you. We have to help one another. Thank you all so very much for your time.
Thank you. Elisa Chube, Lisa Talbot. Then could we please have Cynthia Bowling, Phyllis Carlos, who I think came before, Shantae Brooks came before, Damian Graham, Rudy Coombs, Tyrek Harris, Aku Brown, and Ann Buckingham. Cynthia Bowling here? No. Damian Graham? Hi, how are you?
Good evening, everybody. I'm a resident at Youth Shelter Program in Westchester. I spoke about my program like 1,000 times. I'll speak about it 1,000 more till my lips fall off, you know. And when they do fall off, I'm just pick it back up and sew it to my lips and speak some more. But the youth shelter, I can say, has been a really great experience for me, like no other experience. I fell off, they'll pick me back up, probably yell, but you know, it helps me. They're like a backbone. They help me stand up even if I want to sit down. Whatever they do is just support, support, support. And without their support, I don't know what I'll be doing right now. And somebody said to me, there's a reason why you're in this youth shelter right now. it didn't just happen. It's a reason why you in there, and I understand the reason. I'm going to school now, going for a high school diploma, and everything's looking great. And like I said before, I want this program to live long after I'm gone, basically, for generations to come and years to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Rudy Coombs.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Good evening, Board of Legislators. Mass incarceration is big business, real big business. There's 2.2 million people incarcerated nationwide. And I'd like to put a dent in that. And the youth shelter program of Westchester is the start. There's only 2 programs nationwide, one in Mount Vernon, New York, and one in the state of Missouri, okay? I'd like to see these programs move from Mount Vernon to Washington, D.C., to Illinois, to Chicago, to Detroit, and so on and so on. The young man that just spoke, he's in the program. We make a big difference in these young men who come from the prison system. See, prison doesn't work. I think everybody agrees. What happens with prison is that a young man goes to prison, he meets a career criminal. Career criminal teaches him a skill. That skill is not the skill that we would like him to be taught. And then he comes out, he can't find a job, and he uses the skill that he learned in prison, which gets him back incarcerated again. Now, he too becomes a career criminal. This has to stop. We're all victims. Everybody in our families, at some point in some time, have been a victim. The young people are victims. The old people are victims. Senior citizens. It has to stop. The youth shelter program is the start. I watch a lot of young men come in that program very, very angry. Angry at everybody and everything. And I watch them leave that program with self-confidence and self-esteem. I've seen stories, unbelievable stories from the youth shelter program. I've been there since 1994. I'm the vice president on the board of directors there. And I'm not getting paid for this tonight, nor the 20 years that I've been there, on 2014 to be 20 years. But I've seen a difference made in these young people. We only have 12 beds, unfortunately, so we can't meet a whole lot. The turnover, we get maybe 300 to 200 kids come in a year. But the thing is, those 300 to 200 people, the young people that come in, we do make a difference. Out of every 10 young men that comes in that program, 7 do not return to crime. That is very, very successful, if you ask me. So please, please support this organization. And if you can fund this even more next year, please do. God bless.
Thank you. Tyrick Harris.
Good evening. My name is Tyreek Harris. I'm from the Youth Shelter Program of Westchester, the alternative prison. I think you should continue to fund the youth shelter because it gives you a better outlook on life. During my stay at the youth shelter, I never thought I would graduate or even have a second chance at life or even make it to 18, but I did. I feel like with the help of the youth shelter, my past is my past, and this little bump I have is just a stepping stone which I could kick over and continue to chase my dream. If the youth shelter can help me, I know it can help someone else because I'm here today with a belt on and my pants pulled up. This funding will make sure that there is someone to help me when I leave because I'm honestly afraid of what's waiting for me when I hit the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Aku. Ann Buckingham.
Hi, I'm Ann Buckingham. I am a resident of Lewisboro, New York, which is in northern Westchester, and I'm here to speak in support of the child care subsidy. I'm a parent of a toddler at Mount Kisco Child Care Center, and like many parents, I choose the center because of its diverse community and its ability to serve a wide range of families from different backgrounds. centers like Mount Kisco Child Care keep families working, keep them earning money. It's certainly an important thing. And for me personally, there's nothing like knowing that my child, when I'm at work and my husband's at work, is somewhere where they're having really enriching experiences with a group of children from different cultures and life experiences that they can all bring together. Mount Kisco Child Care Center counts on funding to keep its doors open to everyone, not just a select few. And so I just want to ask you to please support the subsidy, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone who has not had an opportunity to speak tonight at tonight's public hearing? No? Well then, thank you very much, and we appreciate your coming out tonight. I will now turn this back over. Oh, I don't even need to. Well then, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Long roll call vote? No? Okay, we are adjourned.